Hello and good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. And a huge welcome to today's LLM and Postgrad Insight session brought to you today by Osgoode Hall Law School, part of York University in Canada. Now, before I hand you over, a reminder that today's session is live. If you have any questions, please place it on the social media tabs on Messenger, on LinkedIn as well, on Messenger facility. If you do comment on the post, we will not see it, unfortunately. If you're watching on Zoom today, which I appreciate there might be a few of you doing so, please use the chat or Q&A facility, and we'll endeavour to get round to your questions as much as we can throughout the Q&A during the end of the session. And I'd like to hand you over right now to Claresta at Osgoode Hall School of Law. She'll be taking you through the next 30 to 40 minutes before I'm back for the live Q&A very soon. Over to you.
All right, thanks, Gareth, for the introduction. So good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. So today I will be talking about study law in Canada, and this session is for international students who are interested in once getting a LLM in Canada from Osgoode Professional Development or enrolling in our other programs. I know some of you could have been Canadians who get their JD or LLB outside and now thinking back to come back to Canada and looking for a graduate degree, or some of you who had their from other jurisdiction and now considering to study and live in Canada. So I'll talk about the different programs that we offer. So once again, thank you for welcoming me here. My name is Claresta and I am the recruitment coordinator from OsgoodePD. So I'll walk you through the full-time programs that we have at OsgoodePD. As Garrett mentioned, we'll have the Q&A at the end, and I'll try to answer your questions at the end. All right, so let's get started. Right, so first I just want to talk about why you may be considering studying in Canada. If you are considering going to other jurisdictions like the US, Australia, or the UK, you'll probably note that Canada compares favorably in terms of our tuition fees and options for working during and after to complete your studies. And in terms of living in Canada, we are rated as one of the safest places to live. We are most well known for our inclusiveness, tolerance, and diversity. And Osgoode PD is particularly located in Toronto. And Toronto is the fourth largest city in North America. So, and overall in Canada, there are very few law schools. So if you are considering law schools in Canada, essentially no matter where you go, you will be getting a high quality education. And in terms of for Toronto, I've mentioned this is one of the largest cities. We are also most well known for our diversity and multiculturalism. We have over 250 ethnicities and over 170 languages represented here in Toronto. So when you are coming to study and live in Toronto as part of Osgoode PD member, you'll be still exploring the global community that we have here. So I want to talk about the Osgoode Hall Law School, in which the Osgoode Professional Development is a part of. The Osgoode Hall Law School is one of Canada's oldest and most distinguished law schools. And we have a globally renowned faculty who are coming from all over the world to teach our students based on their expertise. And our community, student community in particular, is very intelligent, diverse, and creative. We have renowned alumni who are now excelling all over the world in public agencies, private law firms, corporations, government, legal clinics, and even teaching in a university settings. So you'll be a part of a vibrant community while you're students, and we have extensive network of alumni. And in terms of our courses, we have over 150 courses that is very interactive, lots of discussion that you will be a part of when you are in the classroom. So now steering gear into the Osgoode professional development. Once again, we are a part of the Osgoode Hall Law School. In terms of our location in Toronto, we have 2 locations in the downtown Toronto, and we also have a location in the York University main campus, which is located in the west end of Toronto. We are a part of the Osgoode Hall Law School, and particularly we are committed for lifelong legal learning. And what that means is that we have one of the largest graduate law degree program here in Canada. And in terms of your options to study lots of different specializations that we offer, and our programs is well known to cater to internationally trained lawyers, as well as being open to non-legal professionals who wanted to learn more about particular area because they have an extensive work experience. Now they want to get more a formal education in that as well. So, with 2 campuses, you get the best of both worlds. We are located in the downtown of Toronto, which is the center of the financial districts, the law firms, and lots of different activities in downtown, but also located in the Keele campus. So a lot of our students, or almost all of the students, will be located in both campuses, and they are both highly accessible with public transport and also with cars as well if you are wanted to get around. So who are Osgoode PD students? So I've mentioned that we have an extensive instructors, but also students and alumni. We have alumni and our students from all over the world. We have over from 49 countries, and 23% of our students are internationally trained. So you'll be learning with everyone from all over the world. We have extensive learning experience, and I can say that majority of our students have about 2 years of practice experience before they're coming in. So I've mentioned how the classroom is very interactive, and especially with our students with some practice experience is very beneficial because now you'll be able to bring in your examples that you earn from your professional experience, bring it into the classroom, have a lively discussions. And now, in terms of why you may want to choose Osgoode PD, I want to talk about the 3 different aspects. First is the academic excellence, community, and supports. So from academic excellence, I can tell you that our program faculty are some of Canada's top legal practitioners and academics, and they are internationally recognized as leaders in their particular field. They are coming in with their expertise to teach our classes. We have more than 100 courses over our 17 specializations. We are constantly renewing our courses in our program to make sure they are updated with what is going on in the world, what is going on with that particular field. So lots of practical and theoretical aspects that you'll be earning from the classroom. From the community aspect, in Canada, it is the largest and most diverse law school. We've earned that global reputation for attracting students with high talents. Students have a great community, lots of extracurricular activities and events that we host throughout the year, both in our downtown location and our Keele campus as well. And, I've mentioned that students are coming from all over the world, and they have built communities within the classroom and outside the classroom as well. And maybe another aspect is also possibly the student support. We are very proud of our student services. All of our students have a full range access to the academic, career, and wellness support. I mentioned students with diversity. So, you may have different needs in terms of your career and academic. And as a student, you have access to our one-on-one advisings and career support. So if you are looking now to work in Canada, our one-on-one advising will be able to support you on how to make and excel your resume and your CV, your cover letter to make yourself stand out in the Canadian market. We have workshops that are available to our students about all the different aspects as well. And in terms of wellness support, we are here to support you from the beginning of your study till the end of your study of every need that you have. So we are very passionate about supporting our students, not only from the academic aspect of it, but also for preparing you to go into the world and work. So I'll be going through the different offerings. So first, go through the non-credit programs. We have the summer school program and the advanced legal English. The next one is the full-time graduate diploma. That is the foundations of Canadian law. And lastly, I'll be going through the full-time graduate degrees, the LLMs, in which hopefully maybe I think a lot of you are interested in. We have 4 specializations for the full-time LLM. That is the international business law, Canadian common law, taxation law, and general law. So for the summer program, this is for all of you who are probably interested in coming to Toronto and talking about and learning about a graduate earning a graduate certificate, a graduate program with us. So this is about 3 weeks in length. And this is particularly catered for current JD and LLB students and recent graduates. So if you wanted to kind of get a short-term experience with us about Canadian law, this is a good program. The program will be a combination of interactive classroom, but there also will be tourist attractions that you will be exploring in Toronto along with your classmates. From the language requirements perspective, it is looking at 7.0 IELTS or a JD or LLB that is taught in English. So this program will typically run every summer for 3 weeks, and the topic do changes. So if this is one of the program that you are interested in, I would say keep an eyes out. Go to our website a couple months, in the beginning of the year to kind of get an update on what topic will be hosting this year, as well as the application process and the deadline. So beginning of school, beginning of the year, you're looking at about springtime each year. You want to take a look at the application timeline. So the next one I have is the Intensive Advanced Legal English. So this is a program that we've partnered with the York University English Language Institute to create a language program that is specifically designed for internationally trained lawyers. And this program is about 4 months in length. We have 2 start time. This one, the next coming up listed here, it will be having in the fall. From September to December. Keep an eye out. We'll also be running it in the summer as well if you are thinking of continuing with us with an LLM in the fall term. So the summer will be something that you may be interested in. I just want to highlight that this particular program is particularly catered for individuals who are looking for a language program before entering into the LLM, or if you have a language score that may be slightly lower than required from the language test. So this is a good program. This is highly designed to help you succeed in the program, help you get prepared for an LLM. To get into this program, we are looking for a 6.5 IELTS. And just want to kind of give more context on why you may be interested in the language program is that one, not only it'll prepare you for your language skills for the LLM and for your career in Canada, but also we have examples and courses that is specifically catered for the legal context. I do want to highlight, we have the IALE graduate bursaries. So students who are completing this program with a distinction, you will be eligible to apply for a graduate bursaries of $6,000. That can be put towards your LLM tuition should you decide to continue with an LLM with us following completion of this program. So now I want to pivot a little bit into our full-time credit programs. That is the Graduate Diploma in Foundation of Canadian Law and also the Professional LLMs. 4 of the professionals LLM mentioned, I'll just highlight again, that is the Canadian Common Law, International Business Law, Taxation Law, and General Law. To give you an overview of our program structures, our courses are weighted at 3 credits, 6 credits, or 9 credits, and all of the LLMs will be looking at 36 credits to complete the degree. The graduate diploma, you're looking at 18 credits. And in terms of how long the program runs, we run courses throughout the year. We have a 3-term system, that is the fall, winter, and the summer term. So if you are looking for a full-time study, you'll be essentially, if you are starting in the fall, you'll be ending in the fall term again. So, and you'll be studying throughout the year. So let's start with the Graduate Diploma in Foundations of Canadian Law. Will be a very good program for those of you coming from a civil jurisdiction to give you a foundation in Canadian common law. And this could also be a good one for our recent grad. So this particular program is really depending on from your background and what you're looking for. In terms of the start and the length, we do have a winter start term, and we're looking at 2 terms. It's about 8-month study from a January till August. For our language requirement, we're looking at 7.0 IELTS. For the courses, you're looking at a 12 credits composing of 4 courses. This will give you, once again, that foundational into the Canadian legal context. You'll be studying Canadian legal research and analysis, academic and applied legal writing, introduction to Canadian public law, and introduction to Canadian private law. And following completion of your required courses, you have the options now to take 6 credits, which is about 1 or 2 courses. And this course could be drawn from the professional LLM offerings that we have. So for example, if you are following the graduate diploma completion, you are thinking of, I'm now interested in administrative law, your option could be taking a 6 credit course from that particular LLM specialization. So now into the LLM Canadian Common Law. This one is particularly catered for internationally trained lawyers or law graduates who are now thinking of pursuing their career in Canada, so they would like to get licensed here, so in Canada. And one of the requirements to get licensed and accredited in Canada is to meet a certain requirement that is listed by the National Committee on Accreditation. They are the body or the regulator who oversee your educational background and your professional backgrounds, and then now trying to equalize that into the Canadian legal context. And to become licensed, they'll be giving you a list of courses that you may need to get equalized and standardized with the Canadian graduates. So we're looking at 2 start dates here. You could start in the fall or in the winter. A full-time program looking at 3 terms or a 1-year study. So the language requirement is 7.5 IELTS with a minimum of 7.0 in reading and writing. So the language requirement for the remainder of the LLM I'll be talking about will be the same. For the required courses, we don't, but most of our students will start the program with an admission condition course, and those courses will be listed to you in your offer letter. That is determined by our admission committee, who thinks that, based on your background, a certain course will be most suitable to help you get prepared in this program. So those courses could be Introduction to Canadian LLM Studies, Legal Research and Writing, and Foundations of Canadian Law. And about this program itself, it composed overall of 36 credits, and 18 of those credits can be put towards core Canadian common law courses, in which you can be put towards to meeting your NCA requirements. And the remainder of the 18 credits could be put towards other courses that you're interested in, or you could also still put towards those 18 credits towards the NCA accreditation. So lots of flexibility here for anyone thinking of getting a license in Canada. One, you can complete the entire degree for your licensing or mix it up a little bit because there are certain areas of the legal field that you want to practice in and you want to get some foundation by taking those courses from other LLM specialization. And the next one is LLM International Business Law. This will give you that in-depth Canadian and comparative law concepts. The core courses you can explore will be transactions, cross-border taxation, international arbitration, and international trade. So if you are a practicing lawyer in international business law and now you're looking to gain Canadian contacts and global contacts from a formal education, this would be a good starting point. We also have 2 intakes every year, the fall and the winter. It will be a 1-year full-time program with 3 terms. So for the required courses, there will be comparative legal studies in international business laws. And also, once again, we do have admission conditions courses for most of our students based on your background. Again, they could be introduction to Canadian LLM studies, legal research, and writing. And with this particular specializations, you're looking at 18 credits will be put towards courses within international business law with a flexibility for the remaining 12 credits to be put towards elsewhere. When I said elsewhere, it could be put towards the NCA credit courses or any other courses that you're interested in to take during your study. There will be also a research requirement. There are 3 options as part of this, and that will be incorporated into your degree. And the next one is the LLM in taxation law. This would be a very good program for our tax lawyers. And if you are looking to bring in and learn more about the Canadian contacts, this will give you that in-depth examinations into the policies, principles, and internal logic of the tax law in Canada, as well as internationally. So this particular program is taught by globally recognized tax scholars and practitioners. So you'll be not only learning about the theory, but also the practical aspects of the tax law. And if you are thinking of to earn and possibly working in Canada within the tax law field, this could be a good LLM program for you. This program only starts in the fall term, and it is also a 3-term, a 1-year full-time study. The same language requirements, 7.5 IELTS with a minimum of 7.0 in reading and writing. So in terms of the courses, there are required courses. You'll be looking at tax policy and statutory interpretation and the foundations of the taxations of individuals, intro to taxation of corporations and shareholders, comparative taxations laws, and there's also be admission condition courses based on your background. So elective options, once again, we are bringing in tax experts. They may be different topics, so there could be a new theme each year. So if this is a particular area of interest, I would encourage you to look at the courses that we will be offering for the upcoming year, see if this is suitable based on your interests. This program will also have a research requirement, and there'll be 3 options for you to select from throughout your study. Just want to highlight for the research requirement, this is not something that you decide in the beginning of your study, but this could be something that you are deciding as you go through the program. And the last general LLM, general law LLM, could be a very good option for senior legal practitioners who want to specialize in a number of areas of the legal field. So I can give you an example that this could be a good LLM program for a lawyer with a few specializations. So you could be a lawyer in a hospital who deals with health law, but also dealing with labor and employment law for union workers. So essentially taking a health law on its own does not encompass all of the legal field that this lawyer works in. Hence, combining it with any other specialization could be a much more suitable based on what they're looking for and where they want to go in their career. We do have 2 start time, which is the fall and the winter. It'll be a 3-term and 1-year full-time study. Same language requirements, 7.5 IELTS with a minimum of 7.0 in reading and writing. And in terms of the course offering, because of some of our specializations do not run each year, so feel free to contact us to talk about your specialization that you're interested in. We can go through the different offerings and the different requirements and see when would be the most suitable time for you to start. So there is no open application process for this. So first you would need to fill a request form and in which you would want to list your specializations, the courses you're interested in, talk a little bit of your background. And from there, we'll get back in touch with you to kind of help you determine whether a certain term would be a much better time to start the program. I want to touch on the NCA assessment. I've mentioned that maybe some of you are interested to get licensed here in Canada. I've mentioned about the regulatory body, which is the National Committee on Accreditation. They will giving you that list of different subjects that you may have to complete to get licensed here. So they are categorized into 3 different areas: mandatory subjects, core subjects, and additional subjects. Essentially, everyone from both common law and a civil jurisdiction will be required to complete the mandatory subjects, and that is composing of the Canadian administrative law, constitutional law, criminal law, professional responsibility, foundations of Canadian law, and legal research and writing. And for our civil grads, you will be required to complete the core subjects as well: contract, torts, and property. The core subjects for individuals from common law jurisdictions will be dependent on whether you have completed this particular course in your university study or you've also met the grade requirement. So the core subjects may or may not be given for our common law graduates. There may be some additional subjects that will be given to you depending on your background. So for example, that if you have not been practicing for quite some time, the NCA may give you additional subjects. So we do have an on-demand session that talks about the process to get licensed here in Canada. So you may want to check our website to learn more about the process and the different requirements, and as we go through that in detail. So just want to highlight for those of you who are interested to get licensed here, and the different graduate programs that we offer here could help you satisfy certain subjects of the NCA courses, between 1 to 2 subjects to 5 to 8 subjects. So depending on what your background, what you're looking for in terms of accreditation, certain program will be most suitable for you. If you are unsure about which program would be most suitable, feel free to reach us out through email, and we're more than happy to guide through the process. So in terms of choosing the right program, there are certain aspects that you would want to consider. What are your goals and your timeline? What is your story, and what's going to bring you the most value? When we are talking to applicants, we always ask you these 3 questions. We want to give you an overall personalized assessment and making sure that you are making the right choices. So when we're asking about what are your goals and timeline, you could let us know that, possibly your goal is just to gain certain knowledge of the legal field that you would want to bring back to your home jurisdiction, or possibly, you want to get licensed here. And we want to know what is your timeline. And based on your timeline, what would be the most suitable program for you? And in terms of what is your story, we want to have a good understanding of your background, both your educational studies and your professional experience before coming here in Canada. Based on that, we will be able to assist you whether a certain program based on your background and also your interest for your career in the future would be matching. And lastly, we do have this one-on-one session we could have, and also we have a drop-in session. We want to have a better understanding, and feel free to reach us out and just to get a personalized assessment of your background and also what you're looking for. And now I want to bring your attention to the awards that we have for our international students. So this awards, we have two different types. That is the Award of Merit for $10,000 and Award of Excellence for $30,000. This award is open to all individuals who are applying to the full-time LLM program. And in terms of the requirement, the Award of Merit is open to individuals with at least 2 years of postgraduate professional legal experience, whereas the Award of Excellence for individuals with at least 5 years of law practice experience. And, with this award, we have an early deadline that you want to keep mindful of. We have a number of awards that we give out each year for each of the category. So in terms of important dates for our fall term program, they do have application opening up very soon, just in a couple of weeks in October 1st. So if you are thinking of studying with us in the fall of 2025, keep an eye out for an email if you are on our mailing list for this application opening on October 1st. So I've mentioned about the two awards that we have, or two categories of the awards that we have, and those deadlines are January 15. And also for our international students who will be requiring for a visa to come here in Canada, we do encourage you not only to apply for the award, but also to apply in this early deadline, because this gives you a much more sufficient time to apply for a study permit. The final deadline for the fall term is May 1st, and the full-time program offering for the fall term are the International Business Law, Canadian Common Law, Taxation Law, and General Law. If you are thinking to come study with us in the winter term, so you're likely looking at winter of 2026. The winter term starts in the January of 2026. Applications will be open in February 1st. The awards deadline will be in April 15, and the final deadline is the September 15. The programs that we'll be offering for the winter term is the International Business Law, Canadian Common Law, General Law, and the Foundations of Canadian Law. We have limited space, and our advice to all applicants is to always apply early. With our strong applicants, you may be able to hear decisions from us even before the final deadline, because the reason why our committee do review applications as they come in, they'll be able to review it once your application is completed. And now thinking of what will be required in terms of the application process. You'll be required to submit your CV or your resume. The committee would like to have a good understanding of your professional experience. They are looking at typically 2 years of post-LLB for an LLM program. Occasionally, we do accept recent grads. However, for recent grads, the committee will be put a strong emphasis on your educational experience. Maybe you have a pre-law career, they're looking at high law school grades, as well as stellar references and extracurricular. And essentially, it's a combination of all of those for our recent graduates. We'll also be asking you to submit a writing sample. The LLM program is highly writing and research intensive, so the committee would like to have a good understanding that you will be ready for a graduate level research and writing. You could submit something that you've written in the past. Just make sure that you are the only sole author, and you may want to edit it just to ensure that it is a true reflection of your current writing and research skills at the moment. We'll be asking for your transcripts as well, a copy of your transcript. We're looking at overall B or 75% or equivalent. And we'll be looking at from your law school overall GPA. And not to worry, our admission teams are very familiar with the transcript from other jurisdictions. So if they're not in English, just make sure that they are translated, and we will be able to take a look at and calculate the overall for you. So there's no need to submit any other assessment for the transcripts. For references, we are looking for 2 referees who can best speak to your academic potentials. They could be professionals and academic referees. Truly, it is depending on your circumstances. And there may also be a language test that you'll be required to submit as part of your application. So it's truly depending on your background. So I just want to highlight that for a language proficiency, we're looking at individuals who are completing at least a 1 year of full-time study where English is the only language taught in the institution. So if you meet this requirement, there's no need to take a language test, but if you don't, you may be required, and we will be needing this language test score as part of your application that you will need to submit before the deadline. So take a look at our website to go through the language test requirement, our language proficiency, just to get a better understanding, as well as the tests or programs that we accept. So now you have all of the information that you need to apply. You are ready to apply. Just make sure that you make a note of the important dates. We do have a strict deadline of submission, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure that you have all of the required documents and what we are looking for. And there's also an option of you working with an agent. If you are from a certain jurisdiction, you would like to work with an agent who will be able to assist you in in a number of aspects from the visa and the application. Take a look at our website we have, and you would want to reach out to those agents for assistance. So yeah, I have reached the end of my presentation. We are here to help you in terms of your application process. So go to our website at osgoodepd.ca. We have a contact form in which you can fill it in with your name, your program of interest, your email. You can put down in questions if you have certain questions you would like to inquire. And, putting yourself in that contact form will also put you into our mailing list of updates and deadlines of certain programs that you're interested in. And we'll be able to get in touch with you via email. If you like to set up a meeting with us, feel free to indicate that as well. I want to highlight that we have an on-demand info sessions for all of the programs that we offer at OsgoodePD. Take a look at that just to have a better understanding of what the program is looking for and what the program is offering. Aside from the contact form and emailing us, we do have a drop-in advising sessions happening every Wednesday and every Friday at 10 a.m. at Eastern Daylight Time. So take a look at that. Take a look at our website at osgoodepd.ca/LLM info. We do have a number of upcoming events in the next coming weeks, including application tips, career and articling tips, as well as an event with our alumni who can be able to talk to you about their experience and when they're at and how our program has helped them. So keep an eye out for our events. But yeah, that is all from me. So Gareth, let me
Thank
know
you.
if there's any
Yeah,
questions.
no, Clarissa, that's great. And there's been a couple of questions coming. I want to start with myself to begin with. I always find it fascinating to hear from law schools that we don't hear from all the time on LLM study, and obviously you're Canadian based. Talk to me more about Toronto and more about where you guys are based, because a lot of people may not understand and grasp that although yes, you're in another country, you're actually closer to New York than Miami is and Los Angeles is. You're not that far away, and you're on the Lake Ontario and got Niagara Falls not far away. How much does that play into the students' hands when it comes to socializing, getting out, having an opportunity to try various different opportunities?
For sure. No, thanks for bringing that up. I think that's really important from like not only just like you're here to study, but you're also possibly here to explore. So let me just go through that. In terms of our location wise, we are in Toronto. We are one of the largest city in terms of employment in Canada. So in Toronto, especially our downtown campus, it is, where the core of the city is, financial district. Lots of law firms are located in downtown Toronto, and we do host events in which we bring alumni as well. And our alumni are working in these large firms as well as boutique firms. So if you are, so maybe for our students, if they are thinking of studying and possibly working part-time, it is, it's you can easily access a lot of different employment. And if you're studying in person, right, that you also working for, working in person, you can easily go around the city as well. And in terms of our location for students to explore any other areas in Canada or just like in the US, we have Toronto Pearson Airport, international airport for students to get around. So highly accessible, just even from our downtown campus to get to the airport for you to um, travel around, spend some time while you are in Canada.
And I'm right in thinking and saying I've spoken to a couple of your colleagues in the past, and it's such a diverse city in terms of the amount of nationalities and cultures within, which mean, I mean, I saw your slide earlier about the international students that you have at the law school. Presumably that would help a student settle in, and therefore have that kind of home feel to it because everyone is in the same boat almost.
No, for sure. I myself living in Toronto, lots of my friends are foodie. Like, if you're looking at missing food from home, lots of restaurants and very authentic food for students to explore in. So you're not missing out. I can say that I think Toronto got one of the best food around in one of the major cities. And the other thing, in terms of looking for communities, I've spoken to our alumni from other jurisdiction who are now living in Canada, and they're like lots of communities, legal communities as well, lawyers from other jurisdiction who are very open to help, you know, like lawyers who are just new to Canada to get them settled in, get a better understanding of what the processes are. And we're also here to help you. We know a number of associations that we can connect you with, and LinkedIn could be your best friend as well to get in touch with our alumni who are involved in any other associations, including culturals, as well as different interests.
Sure. Can I ask you not just about the city, not just about the law school, but the intake dates? One of the questions that came in, it's a really good question. On one of your previous slides, you mentioned about the fall and the winter intakes, about what courses, full-time opportunities are available. One that came up was that taxation law is only available in the fall of 2025. If you're interested in that course specifically, is there any flexibility around that, or are the courses listed? That's the only times they're available.
So with the taxation in particular, it kind of works as a cohort program. So you're coming in. So the reason why it's only starting in the fall term. So there is really no flexibility in the winter term to start. It's because they are a required course that you will need to take in the beginning of your study. And that course only offers, once a year. So that is why, once you kind of start together, you take all the required courses and you do not want to miss those required courses, because that is sort of like the foundation that you need before you move on to the other taxation courses as electives.
Okay. And keeping on the program theme, people have said, can you still practice law in the USA even with a Canadian LLM? I know the answer to that, but if you want to elaborate further on that.
Yeah, I would say that having an LLM is something that you could totally leverage in for sure. Um, we are from a common law jurisdiction. So whatever you're learning from a Canadian aspect, could you be put towards in the US? We're not very far. Our laws are quite similar. But in terms of practicing law in the US, you would want to take a look at what the requirements are to get called to the bar. So that is something that you would want to kind of take a look at the requirements, because I can speak a lot about the requirements here in Canada, but the requirements in the US, I think it differs per state. So just do your research before committing to any studies.
Absolutely. And visa requirements, always an important one. Someone's asked, are the visa requirements the same? I presume that person means to the USA. Um, Obviously, the F1 visa allows you 30 days before your program starts in the USA to head on over and settle in and get used to the conditions. Is that the same in Canada, or does it vary?
So I would just want to kind of bring up that I'm not the visa expert, but I can highlight that for anyone interested in studying in Canada, we do have that early application deadline, that award deadline. The best advice that we always want to give, that visa processing takes a long time. You will want to apply as soon as possible, and then so that you could get enough time to apply, and also once you get approval to kind of settle in before the program. And our students who have received acceptance from us, we can guide you through the process as well if you are encountering any issues. So our advice is always to speak with an immigration specialist or contact the Canadian immigration office, as they have the most updated answer about any visa, because in Canada, we're constantly reviewing the immigration processes. So it's always best to get in touch with the expert who constantly overseeing that policies.
Super. And one final question for me before we look to wrap things up. If we can talk about opportunities, employment opportunities. Obviously, Toronto being one of the most employable cities in Canada, like you mentioned, probably North America as a whole, to be fair. Who do you work with on a national and a global scale that when students do finish their LLM that they can go on and potentially study with or carry on their studies with?
Are you talking about like sort of like career
From,
aspect
from an
post?
employment aspect, yes.
Okay, yeah. So I would say that we have a job board that our students can access to. And not only that, we constantly having a networking events, both from alumni and also employers around Toronto, and a number of employers in Toronto that we do bring in. They do have international associations. They have multiple offices across the world. So, and in order for you to tap into that, those networking events are highly valuable. And I know I've spoken to our alumni who got their job post-graduation from this networking event, from getting to know these people, just from one of the advice that we always give our students is to always get involved and also participate in all of the events that we have for you to build network. Networking is one of the advice that I do hear from alumni, and they say, that is the key from sort of like where they get to where they are now.
Course. And I would encourage anyone that's watching as well, whether it be now or at a later point in 2024, maybe early 2025, to head over to the website. Look at the what's on the screen at the moment, Osgoode, pd.ca/LLM info. That'll give you all the information that is required. Also, head over to LLM Study. LLM Study's got everything you need to know. It's a one-stop shop from visas all the way to program information. There is a dedicated page for Osgoode Hall Law School. So head over and there's some information on there. Claresta, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to head through all that information. And again, I would urge anyone, if they have any concerns or any questions, to fire it my way or fire it Claresta's way. We've got all your details. But I would like to wrap things up. Usually we'd go through the scholarships, but I appreciate the people watching have heard quite a bit. So if anyone has any questions, we will be sending you an email with how you can register for one of our bursaries. on one of our scholarships as well, and we will be in touch. But for now, a huge thank you for myself and Claresta. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks, Gareth. Bye
Bye
now.
bye.